a free man. Perhaps the American people are like the frog that is heated slowly to a boil in a pot of water. If we had detected the heat sooner, we could have jumped out, saving the Republic and ourselves. But, alas, our grandfathers were asleep at the helm and not as vigilant as they were instructed to be by Thomas Jefferson. Americans are now awakening to the cataclysmic reality of a fascist, one-world government, having replaced our intended constitutional republican government. Article I. The Declaration of Independence for the United States of America clearly outlined the necessary course each citizen must take when his government became insufferable. Over the past 60 years, nearly all of our unalienable rights have been stripped from us through the sophistry and obfuscation of the courts and bloodlust of the Congress for spending debt-based money borne on the back of the American people. What they have done is egregious, but as the Declaration of Independence points out, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. By sufferable, I believe they meant survivable. That same declaration also declared, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. Since 1933, beginning with the confiscation of our gold and allodial property, rather than secure our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, our government has persistently and systematically reduced our standard of living. But this evil seemed survivable, so we just suffered and let it pass, letting the water get a little hotter. 26 Superscript 3. Fruit from a poisonous tree. Since 1933, our government has refused to secure our right to life, land, or liberty by persistently increasing our burden by regulations, prohibitions, legalized abortion and unlawful taxes. They have bastardized our judicial system with statutory law, replacing the common law and the protections which it afforded us with the severe and brutal equity/admiralty jurisdictions, where the Constitution is of no protection. They have lied and withheld the truth about the jury's power to judge the law as well as the facts, all but turning the jury system into a prosecutor's tool and not our protection from overzealous prosecutors that it was intended to be. They have increased our prison population to nearly 1.5 million inmates, the largest imprisonment of its own citizens of any country in the world. They now prepare plans for new prison construction for the new millennium, projecting 20 years in advance and building cells for our as yet unborn children, as though all or most of our offspring will be criminals. This reality alone reduces the expression, the home of the brave and land of the free, to mere illusion and an oxymoron. But these evils were/are also sufferable, and we let the water get hotter. Article 2. Now, the United States government not only refuses to secure our right to life, it is openly seeking to diminish or even eliminate that right in order that a foreign people we neither know nor see might survive. Thanks to the UN, New World Order, NAFTA, GATT, and every whore, coward and traitor elected or appointed to American public office that voted in favor of those dastardly treaties, our very survival as a people is now at stake. Our government's evils are no longer sufferable. The La Paz portion of the NAFTA agreement provides for the forfeiture of a 30-mile-wide strip of American soil to a foreign power, the UN, across the entire 1,935 miles of border between Mexico and the USA. Roughly 60,000 square miles of American soil is being surrendered without a single shot being fired. That's more land than is contained in Rhode Island, Delaware, Connecticut, New Jersey, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, and Hawaii combined, constituting the single greatest act of treachery in the history of this nation. Even more land is being surrendered as national parks are converted to UN biospheres. Thank the Lord that the legislature of Kentucky flat out refused to go along with the surrender of any of their land to a UN biosphere. Mel Stamper Superscript 3. 27. There is no provision in the Constitution for Congress, the President, or the courts to surrender any portion of our national sovereignty to any foreign government. I am positive that there's no provision in any state constitution for those states along the Mexican border to surrender any portion of their state sovereignty to a foreign power. Those legislators who swore to uphold the national constitution have violated their oath to God and the American people's trust. Our incumbent politicians are guilty of treason and should so be accused and tried. The justification for surrendering our sovereignty to the UN, New World Order, is found in their ecological argument. The earth is overpopulated and its resources are inadequate to support our species. the human population must be reduced by at least half if our species are to survive. If that argument is accurate, then there is not enough food or resources to sustain all currently living human life. In any other time throughout the history of human society, such shortages as described by the ecological pundits would precipitate violence and unimagined wars, as individuals, families, and entire nations struggled for scarce resources in their survival against other human competitors. Such has been true since time immemorial. Under such extreme circumstances, where a foreign power or population might threaten your survival and mine, we would inevitably deduce that foreign power or population was our mortal enemy. After all, for them to survive, we must die or at least condemn our children and ourselves to a diminished lifespan.